Hello, I welcome you all to our next series of story in the Gupta period. Of course, we are presently living in the Gupta period, imagine in that way, and we are looking towards much more interesting facts and the stories of this age. So stay connected, stay alert when we are hearing to all the stories, and parallelly we would be also taking care that we are able to solve the prelims questions, okay, which are completely dependent upon the understanding of the important concepts and the terminologies that you need to answer in your preliminary examination of 2026 as well as the further examinations if you are giving for the state services and other competitive. Okay, so here we are starting with the developments that took during the Gupta period. Now, up till now, we have studied the economical development, the political development. In yesterday's session, I have discussed about the political development that took place during the Gupta period. We had also discussed the essential key elements around the development of art and architecture. Okay, beyond that, I have also discussed with you some aspects of the important economical development during the Gupta period with respect to especially the coinage system which was being carried out during the Gupta period. Now, the coinage system is quite evident since Kanishk period or since the Kushan period, when we come to know that the trade and commerce grew at the northwestern part of Indian subcontinent. Okay, now let us first start with the other developments. Now, in today's session, we would be discussing about the other developments that were related to the social threads, to the science and technological developmental threads. Okay, so before starting, as I always tell you that we need to first revise the timeline. Secondly, we need to revise the geographical locations and then only proceed towards our historical stories. Okay, so here let us start with our holistic timeline from where we would be seeing that up till 2500 BC, we saw a Stone Age period. Okay, we saw a Stone Age period. After that, in the Stone Age period, now Stone Age period is also known as the prehistoric period. And now why it is called as a prehistoric period? Because we don't get the literary evidences. Okay, whatever evidences we get, they were the evidences which we got through the excavation, through the stone tools that were developed during this period. And this period is also divided as the Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic and Chalcolithic. Okay, so we have also seen the different geographical locations. We have mapped different geographical locations. If in case you forget this geographical location, I would suggest to revisit all those lectures, study the mappings, because the location of the maps are being directly asked in your UPSC examination. Okay, now after this, we had seen the Sindhu Sabhyata, or what we call as a Indus Valley Civilization. Indus Valley Civilization. During this time frame, we have seen that the trade relations grew. Okay, we were seeing the first kind of urbanization on the Indian subcontinent, how it was being arranged in the grid system, how this urbanization had the different connections with that of the different regions of the world, like Mesopotamian civilization or the Egypt civilization. Okay, so here during the Indus Valley Civilization, we also call this period as the proto-history. Why proto-history? Because although there are some of the evidences, the scriptural evidences, but yet we have not deciphered the scripts, and that is why we call it as a proto-history. Why? Because we are just weaving that period with the availability of the evidences that are particularly in the form of pottery, in the form of coins, in the form of art and architecture. Okay, so after that we have also seen that is during 1500 to 1000 BC. Okay, 1500 to 1000 BC, the emergence of the Vedic age, or the initial phase of the Vedic age, where you will find the n number of resources, literary resources would be talking about the society that was present during the Vedic period. And after that, we would be having the latter Vedic period. Latter Vedic period. Now during the later Vedic period, we'll see that there is an emergence of the political small structures, there is an emergence of the economical ties and relationships that would be getting initiated in the society. We'll see that we would be observing the barter system that is being carried out in the exchange of transactions. Okay, so here we would be seeing the development or the initiation of the economy and the polity during the later Vedic period. Now after this you will also see now this later Vedic period was right from 1000 BC to 600 BC. Okay, now and this was up till 1500, right from 2500 to 1500 BC. 1500 BC. Okay, majorly 22 to 20,000 BC only. Okay. Now after that there are debates around the Aryan invasion. Okay, Aryan invasion. We have taken the separate lecture on this Aryan invasion. Okay, separate topic on this Aryan invasion. Please revisit again. Okay, so this is the transition phase in the history. Okay, now after later Vedic period, okay, right from 600 BC, right from 600 BC, we'll see the emergence of Mahajanapadas, and from this Mahajanapadas we have seen that there would be emerging major states or the major powers, from which the Magad becomes the most powerful state, and within the Magad it is the Mauryan empire or the Mauryan dynasty which stays at a stronger period of a time. Okay, so here after this, okay, especially during 300, okay, during the 300 BC, we'll see the Mauryan empire. Okay, the Mauryan empire. Now guys, see, right from 600 BC, if you remember, we had discussed while we were discussing about the post-Mauryan period or the second part of the Mauryan phase. Okay, so I have told you during that time, the 600 BC, the history between the 600 BC up till the 600 AD, okay, 600 AD would be the most dominant history or the historical events of the ancient India. Okay, so here within this period we have Mauryan empire, we have post-Mauryan period where we'll see political fragmentation, post-Mauryan period. Okay, and after that we'll see the Gupta period. Okay, Gupta period, and this 600 AD would be the post-Gupta period. Post-Gupta period. Now during the last session we have discussed about the development of the polity and the development of the economical scenario during the Gupta period. Okay, so each and every event that is being taking place now, especially now here if you see the post-Mauryan period, okay, now this is also having a dark age. Okay, dark age. Why? Because you will be seeing the decline of the economical structure over here after the stronger rulers like Ashoka and the Chandragupta Maurya, okay, Bimbisara. Okay, so here we would be experiencing the dark age due to the Bengal famine. The agriculture was also having the very less revenue generation. Okay, so due to all this, and the second reason was that the trade ties didn't had a quite strong hold in the society. After that you will also see that the state's dominance over the artisans was also losing its hold. Okay, this was the third reason why we find the dark age. Okay, now this is the transition phase, Aryan invasion, which transited the Indus Valley Civilization or the first urbanization to the second urbanization. And the post-Mauryan phase is also the transitional phase which will transit our historical stories from the second urbanization to the third urbanization. So here if we divide the history, now see, the Indus Valley Civilization would be termed as the first urbanization. Okay, first urbanization of Indian history, of Indian ancient history. Okay, after that, now right, this is the transition. Okay, here this is transition period. Now from this transition to this transition, okay, here we'll see the Mauryan empire, which would be the second urbanization. Okay, second urbanization. Okay, and after this post-Mauryan, now this is again the transition. Okay, so this would be the Gupta period. Okay, this would be the third urbanization. Third urbanization. Now, if you compare each of this urbanization, okay, with each other, like Indus Valley comparison with the Mauryan Empire and the Mauryan Empire comparison with the Gupta Empire, okay, so if you compare the different kind of urbanization, you will see the different developments, like the social development, political development, okay, the economical development. Now, if you take the Mauryan Empire, it is one of the largest empire of the historical times, okay, not even any other power after this would be able to achieve or to expand all the regions of Indian subcontinent. Now we have taken this with respect to the mapping. Okay, now the Mauryan Empire during the Ashokan period was only the empire who had expanded its territory over all the Indian subcontinent, including the Indian mainland, including the Pakistan, Afghanistan, Baluchistan. Okay, so here land wise it was one of the largest, but if we think the political and the economical dimensions, then of course the economically it was quite strong. But if you see the Gupta period, politically it was more stable as we compare it with the Mauryan Empire. Why? Because we'll see the villages, the taluka block levels and the district governance was separated, departmentalized with the different roles and the functions that were being instructed through the central government or the government which was being headed by the king itself. So we'll find the features of the centralization also and the decentralization also during the Gupta period. While if we compare the in the with respect to the Mauryan period, we'll never see that stable kind of governance system. Okay, and if we again compare both of these empires with the Indus Valley Civilization, so yes, in art and architecture, of course, the Indus Valley Civilization stands as a major contributor in the ancient history, but we don't see any of the evidence of a strong polity or a strong economy if we compare with this two. Okay, with this two, if we see, yes, of course the economy is stronger. Why? Because if we see the probability, if we see the ratio of that time, okay, so here even though it was being present at the ancient times, okay, when we were not even having the usage of iron, even when we were not having the good source of income, the revenue generation, still the Indus Valley Civilization was quite richer in its own way. Okay, but we'll see that the development of the science and the technology will make the Gupta period more, forward in its policy making, in its governance system as well. Okay, so let us start our today's discussion on the other